Hello, 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 everybody. I hope and pray that your week is off to an amazing start. Again, you guys, hello, 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 everybody. I hope you guys missed me last week. Last week, I was not feeling well, and so I decided to stay in my bed. And so I hope and pray that your week is off to a great start. As for me, my week is a busy, busy week. I got a lot of stuff going on, but I'm really excited about the stuff that I have going on, and I hope that you are too. Thank you guys so much for joining me. Do me a huge, huge favor and put in the chat where you're joining me from. I would absolutely love, love, love to give you a shout out. Again, I hope and pray that your week is off to an amazing start. Um, as for me, mine is off to a busy start, but it's a good busy, right? And so, again, I want to just say next month, I'm going to be doing a male's perspective. And so, for you guys who tune into my channel, if you want to be a part of my male's perspective, do me a favor and either inbox me or email me at Gail Crowder Inc. You can go to my website and email me as well, because I would love to get men who watch my channel or support me on any of my social media platforms to be a part of my male's perspective. And I really want to get men in a space where we have a conversation and I ask you a lot of questions that your wife wants to ask you but is afraid to ask you. And so I used to do a male perspective all the time, but I want to bring that back. And so I'm trying to set that up for next month, earlier well, towards the middle of next month. So if you're a male who watches my channel, I would absolutely love if you want to participate for you to hit me up and we can make that happen. Again, you guys, thank you so much for joining me. Please, please, please put in the chat where you're joining me from. I would absolutely love, love, love to give you a shout out. And so tonight's chat comes from a married man from Chicago. He says he's been married 15 years and he has two boys. And this was what he said to me. He goes, Dr. Gail, my wife said that I am boring in bed. What can I do to bring more spice to the bedroom? I am a very, 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 very conservative Christian man, but I don't but I but I don't want to lose my wife, but I also want to please her because she is very bold and very open when it comes to having sex, and she gives me regular sex. I have watched some of your videos and seen some of the comments where men are not getting regular sex. I am not one of them, and so I want that to be able to continue. Please help. Now, as you guys know, whenever I do a wife chat, I always try to reach out to the person and have a conversation if that's possible. I was able to reach this man from Chicago, and we had a really good chat. And he is highly, highly conservative and actually kind of shy. He said he's really shy, that his wife is only the second person that engaged with when it came to sex, because he is a devout Christian, which, there's nothing wrong with being a Christian. And so he is afraid, in a sense, to introduce new things into the bedroom, because he doesn't know how things are going to go, and he does not want to make his sex life just be real crazy. So I had given him some things to think about. However, he was very conservative when it came to some things that can add some spice to the bedroom. So I'm going to give you guys some things to think about if you're in a situation, if you're a woman and you're feeling that your sex life is boring, or if you're a man and you're feeling like your sex life is boring. Hi, Francis. Thank you so much for joining me from Florida. I truly appreciate you for joining me and putting in the chat where you're joining me from. I appreciate you. And so, when it comes to being boring, when it comes to spicing up your bedroom, there's many different things that you can do, right? There are many different things. But the very first thing that you need to do, and this is something that he had not done, is have a conversation with your spouse. Ask them, say, this is how I'm feeling. Or if they brought it to you and they're saying you're boring, have a conversation in order to get in a space where you can really figure out what that person's need is and why do they feel that your sex life is boring, right? He didn't ask his wife, she said it, and he just took it as so, but he did not have a conversation, right? He's like, I didn't even know how to start the conversation. Well, she said that the sex life is boring, so you need to ask her why does she consider it boring, and what would be her suggestions to spice things up. He did say that she's not as conservative as he is, so maybe she felt that she couldn't bring something to the table or suggest something, for the simple fact is that he is very conservative. But you need to have a conversation with your spouse and find out why they consider it boring, and two, what would be their suggestions to change things, to spice things up. Okay. And again, you got to be able to have conversations. You have conversations about everything else. Why not have conversations about that? Okay. Number two, I suggested, this is something totally so easy that anybody can implement. And I told him to try a new sex position with his wife, because when you try a new sex position, that also gives you different sensations and stuff like that. I also sent him an ebook, because I always try to help people with a resource, right? Um, and so I sent him a resource called an ebook that I have called "Position Yourself for Pleasure." Because again, if you ask me for help, I'm going to try to be a resource and help you with that. Hi, Sean, how are you? Thank you so much for joining me. I appreciate you. She said, sounds like it was caught off guard. Yeah, maybe he was. And maybe it's his egos that was crushed. Actually, when I spoke with him, it wasn't that his ego was crushed. It was that he was, he's very conservative. And he thought that since they were engaging on a regular basis, that that everything was fine. And so that's what was going on with that, Sean. And thank you so much for joining me from Dallas. I appreciate you. She's actually she's one of producers on my television show, and I'll be talking to you guys a little bit about that as well later. And so I sent him my ebook called "Position Yourself for Pleasure," because again, I want to make sure that he has some tools, and he was really excited about doing that, because he said that is something that he could do, and that it wouldn't put him in a situation, because again, he is a very, very conservative Christian man. And when I talked to him about maybe bringing like a vibrator or a sex toy or whatever, he was totally against that, which some people are not comfortable with it. And I did ask him, is it because he did not know how to use them, or it what he just said he didn't feel comfortable, which is fine. And so therefore he was open to trying a new sex position, which was great. Hi, Latanya, how are you? Thank you so much for joining me from Maryland. I appreciate you for getting on. I thank you guys so much for hopping on my YouTube channel and also on my Facebook. I really appreciate you guys. And so he was open to doing that. And again, it starts with a conversation. He hadn't even had a conversation with his wife. She just put it out there. He took it, and I appreciated him thinking of me to even ask the question. Okay. And then the other thing that you need to do is engage all five of your senses, right? Because when you're trying to spice things up, right, sometimes we get in a situation where we just do the same exact thing the same exact way. And he's been married 15 years, right? And so therefore, engage all of your five senses. I told him, I said, try to do a sensual massage Add some some massage oil that has a fragrance to it, or put on a fragrance that you know that your wife like, or get a candle. Do something with some aromatherapy. Add some sound to it. I asked him, I said, do you put music on? And he said no. I said, don't put on no gospel music. We want something that's sexy. So I asked him, did he, have any oldies with goodies? And he said yes. So I gave him some things to be able to engage all of the five senses, right? And again, the thing is, he is very conservative and kind of shy, and he really did not want to go and interrupt his Christian beliefs, which I understand, and I wasn't trying to do that, but again, I was trying to help him come out of his comfort zone and press a little bit farther than what he's doing. Hi, Homer. I thank you so much for joining me. My wife and I only have sons once a year, sex once a year. I'm getting tired of nothing. I'm getting tired. Okay. Well, Homer, you have to really figure out how to get to the root cause of why that is happening, because that is what is the no sex is the surface. You need to get to the root cause of why you guys are not engaging. And it could be health issues, it could be self-esteem issues, it could be unforgiveness, it could be so many different things. So Homer, if you do me a favor, if you go visit my website, gailcrowder.com, you can schedule a free 15-minute discovery call, and I can see how I can help you and your wife get to the root cause of that. Okay. But thank you so much for hopping on. I appreciate you. Um, and so, but engage all of the five senses, which is touch, taste, sound, smell, and taste. Okay. And you want to try to do that. And you can do that in many different ways. Okay. Many different ways. And number five is just start with a sensual massage, and that leads to foreplay. Because a lot of times when women say the sex has became boring, it's because they feel like it's just wham bam, thank you ma'am, and you want to slow things down. Because a normal sexual act for men is anywhere from 2 to 6 minutes, and 6 minutes is long for a man before he ejaculates. For women, it's anywhere from 7, and it could be from 13 to 14, and sometimes for 20 minutes. And that's the reason why foreplay is so important when it comes to this. And so you got to slow down and help you guys meet somewhere in the middle. And so many people get complacent. So many people are like, I just need to take care of my needs and not worried about their spouse's needs. So you got to try to meet somewhere in the middle. But that also comes with also having communication when it comes to this. Okay. You got to have great communication. You talk about everything else, talk about this. Okay. So slow down, and you can start with a central massage that leads to getting everybody juices flowing. And then that can also lead to amazing foreplay, which can slow each other down and get to where both of you guys meet in the middle, where you both can orgasm. Okay, you said, Homer, I do all the five and still nothing. I love foreplay. Okay, well, my thing is that if your wife is not meeting you somewhere in the middle, there is something else going on. And like I said, if you want to talk to me, please go visit my website. Okay. Um, and so you gotta, but you gotta be having meaningful conversations. Don't wait till it gets to the point where she says this, and like Sean did say, it could be a blow to his ego. It could be blow to your wife's ego if the shoe was on the other foot. But you gotta be having conversations when it comes to that. Okay. And the thing is that when you are in a situation where your sex life has become boring, you got to be the GPS to your own pleasure. So you got to know your needs, your wants, and your desires, and be able to articulate that to your spouse, because they're not mind readers. And let me just tell you, as we age, our bodies are changing. As we go out to work and our experiences, everything is changing, and you need to be having those meaningful conversations on a regular basis. Okay. You got to be having those meaningful conversations. And it sounds to me as when I talked to Mr. Chicago, that they hadn't had those kind of conversations. She just sprung that on him, and he was taken aback. And again, I am so grateful that he thought enough of me to reach out to do this wife chat. And let me just tell you, if you have any questions or you want me to do a wife chat, just all you have to do is inbox me or email me. Just know I will never say your name, but I will say where you're from. If you include, how many years married and those kind of things, and I will do my best to get you on my schedule to fit you in. I will always, always reach out to you before I do the chat, just to see if we can have a chat in order for me to be able to service and help you better. With that being said, I told you that one of my executive producers, Sean, is on here. And we are finishing up my pilot, which I'm so excited, and I'm so glad that you guys have been supporting me through this process. And we are doing a GoFundMe, and it's actually not a GoFundMe, is actually Indiegogo. And we're reaching out to you guys to help us put the finishing touches on my TV pilot. The link will be on my website. And I also will be posting it on here in a few minutes. If Sean, if you could post the link on here, if you have it readily available, and if not, I will make sure that I go back and post it on here and all my social media platforms. Whatever you can give would be greatly appreciated. If there's no other questions, you guys, she's already posted it in the chat, so I would really appreciate it if you guys go give whatever you can. Like I said, nothing is too small just to help us get the finishing touches on the TV pilot would be greatly, greatly appreciated. If you guys have any questions about the TV pilot or whatever, everything is loaded up on the platform. What we're trying to accomplish, what we're trying to raise, all of those questions. But if you have any personal questions for me, feel free to either inbox me or email me. And again, I love you guys to pieces. If you need me, you guys know how to find me. Y'all know how to go to my website and everything else. And again, thank you guys so much for hopping on Wife Chat today. I love you guys to pieces, and I will see you guys next week.